Hello, real life. My name is Grayson. I'm a member of the Northside Real Life team here, and I am incredibly excited to bring you a new opportunity to connect in community and in relationship with God by engaging His miraculous work that we call the Bible. Let me whet your appetite a little bit with some of the things we're going to look at. Let's take a pretty well-known character in Scripture named Judas Iscariot, the man infamously known for betraying Jesus. And let's look at something weird about his story. Did you know there are actually two accounts of Judas's death? One account says Judas was out surveying a field and he tripped and fell and disemboweled himself and died. What a horrible way to go. But the other account says he went out and he hanged himself. Two entirely different ways of going. Did you know Judas, he took that 30 silver coin bounty that he received for betraying Jesus in the one account, and he went out and he bought that same field that he tripped and fell in. In the other account, Judas saw these 30 silver coins and was so full of remorse, and you see no remorse in the other account. So filled with remorse, he goes back to the priests who gave him this money, and he tries to return it, and they will have nothing of it. So he takes them, he throws them into the temple area, and the priests end up scooping them up and saying, we're going to use this to buy a field as a burial place for foreigners, which happens to be that exact same field. So in one account, Judas buys it. In the other account, the priests buy it with the money that he tried to return. What's going on here? In one account, it's called the Field of Blood because that's the place where Judas tripped and fell and died. In the other account, it's called the Field of Blood because the priests bought it with blood money used for betraying Jesus. Again, two totally different stories there. Did you know Judas, in our culture, we often see him in the background maliciously wringing his hands, waiting for that ideal opportunity to betray Jesus. But Jesus, at the Last Supper, the night that he was betrayed by Judas, takes a piece of bread, dips it into a dish, and says to his disciples, look, guys, I'm going to give this to the man who's going to betray me. He turns, gives it to Judas Iscariot, who stands up, walks out and betrays him, and none of the other 11 disciples have any clue that it's Judas who's going to betray him, even though Jesus just said it. Judas is the last person they expect is going to betray Jesus. And did you know, on a final note, that Judas, we believe that he took those 30 silver coins and that was his motivation for betraying Jesus. But the reality of it is probably a lot different from that. The reality of it is Judas is probably betraying Jesus in this way, not for the money, but because he really and truly believes that Jesus is the Messiah. Hopefully those questions started the juices flowing in your brains, and these sorts of questions are things we're going to be talking about. So I have good news and I have really good news. The good news is we're going to take these sorts of questions, challenging, hard, controversial passages in Scripture, and we're not going to beat around the bush. We're going to tackle them head on. We're going to look at what is going on here. How do we engage God in the Scripture, and what does he have to teach us through this? The really good news is we're not just going to talk about things intellectually. My goal, my role, my hope, and my prayer is that I'm going to be able to equip you with tools that are going to enable you to start to dive into Scripture in the same way yourself and in community with other people who love Jesus just like you do. I'm incredibly thrilled and stoked to invite you into this. We're going to be holding it Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., hopefully late enough for most people to be home. It's going to be a private Facebook group. So if you're interested, shoot me an email. My email address is gbelleque@wearereallife.com. Again, that's gbelleque, my last name, @wearereallife.com. So excited to see you there. So excited to learn and grow with you. Love you a ton, real life. You have a wonderful week.